Hi, welcome back to OSHA safety training from Elite. We was discussing the common hazard. Here is the hazardous substances. What is the hazardous substances? Any shape chemicals which can danger and adverse effect on our health, that all will be considered as a hazardous substances. It's a liquid, solid, gaseous form, any type of the form, does not matter, but is hazardous for our health, is having a adverse effect on our health, that all as I consider as a hazardous substances. Hazardous substances are material whether in solid, liquid or gaseous form that pose a risk to health, safety and environment due to their chemical, physical or biological properties. These substances cause the harm through the inhalation, ingestion, skin content, or environmental exposure. Example of the hazard substances include that toxic chemicals, pesticides or industrial solvents, corrosive material, acids, alkyls, flammable substances, gasolines, propane, then corrosion, abscesses or benzene, biological agents as bacteria and virus. In workplace, safety regulation, hazardous substances are managed through the risk assessments, safety data sheet SDS, proper storage and handling, personal protective equipment, and engineering control to minimize the exposure to the workers. So now we have to take care for the MSDS, yeah, SDS, either SDS or MSDS, material safety data sheet or safety data sheet. Any kind of the hazardous chemicals, any manufacturing company, once they are making, preparing, they are issuing one safety data sheet. They are mentioning that what the things are included in these chemicals and how we have to use, what the safety precautions we have to take before use, during the use, and after using, what we have to do, and then in case of any emergency, then how to respond. That all the details will be available on our MSDS or SDS sheet. So whenever, wherever we have to use chemicals, must we have to read, understand properly MSDS. And as well on the MSDS there will be some symbols are there which can give us the identification of the hazard. So these are the some symbols we can saw on our chemicals. First is the corrosive, toxic, explosive, flammable, and harmful or irritations. That all will be this kind of the symbols will be there on MSDS, or either labeling whatever they are doing on their chemicals, cans, or what they are about using. So for the handling, the storekeeper should must be have the aware what kind of the chemicals they have. They should must proper segregate, because some chemicals are having interaction between and they are increasing the heat and fire can happen, explosion can happen. So they must have to segregate. They have the proper knowledge about the storekeeper having the, and as well as the using the painter and others as who are going to use other any kind of the chemicals. They must have to aware, and they should know MSDS, how to read, how to follow, how to an emergency response. So that all knowledge should be there, then the person can use the chemicals. Hazardous substances, routes entry into the body, inhalation, mostly common cause of the harm. Lungs, it will be effective. Your breathing system will be more fast affected due to inhalation, ingestions, something mixed and then you have took it. Absorption, our body like a sponge. It's thirsty for, so once is something is felt on our skin, our body, it's getting starting to absorb, and once absorbing, so which is the against of our health, that will be start the irritations, allergens and burns can happen. Direct entry like injected or injections as well, or with punched something. So that all is the route how to substances can enter in our body. So let's see one video about the hazardous substance control.
Products in the care home when so many more are available? Why do we need to be so particular about the storage of these products? What do all these symbols mean? And most importantly, what do you need to do to control the hazards and dangers? So, in this programme, we'll look at some key aspects of COSH regulations. We'll see some hazardous substances that you may encounter in your care home day to day. And even simple household items have risks that you may not have realised.
So that was the video about the hazards. And then after using our chemicals, the waste, chemical waste is more danger. We have to properly control. If we are not properly hazardous waste controlling, it's damaging our environment as well. Disposable disposing area should be proper, maintained, restricted, and as well as the who are disposing, that company or that person should aware the all kind of the safety, then they can do. And then if we have to use the waste, dustbin, skip bin should be separate for the chemical waste. No any other waste will be mixed with the, not mixed, we can mix with our general waste skip bin or dustbin. We must have to use the separate skip bin or dustbin for the chemical hazardous chemical waste. Some more controls are here. Prevent or reduce for the exposure from the hazardous substances. Reduce the number of employees exposed and time spent on task. Providing information, instructions, training and supervision. Partition includes and extractions, equipment, health surveillance and ammunitions. Total inclusion of the processes, using of the safe system of the work, adopting the good hygiene practices and suitable PPE. So these are more controls for the hazardous substances. Next is the noise. What is the noise? Acute stress, raise the heart rate. These are the noise hazards. Temporary threshold shift, temporary tinnitus, blast defenses, chronics. Noise include the hearing loss or permanent threshold shift or permanent tinnitus can happen. So what exactly the noise we have to do? We have to use the proper air muff, earplugs, reduce the noise as we can. Then what is the safe, the like decibel of the noise? Like 80 is the, for 80 decibel noise, if their value, then we can do the 8-hour work. If more than 80, then we have to use the earplug, ear muff, like 80 to 90 or 95 or 100. Then we have to reduce working hour. Like before we can use the like 8-hour work, then we have to use the like, if the more than 100 or 100, we have to reduce like 4 hour we have to do the work in that area. Or if more than above the 100, like 120 or 160, so accordingly we have to reduce. Even if we are reaching more than 120 or 140 or 160, once we are reaching, so only with the even proper like protections, PP, like head uh, head protection, air head protections and earbuds, if we are using, with that only 15 minutes we can go for that area in noise. Noise including the hair loss, audio, noise control. If you have the raise your voice to speak to someone, within the 2 meters noise level are too high. Provide a suitable hearing protection design for the different noise levels. Make the protection zone, reduce at source, reduce the exposure, action level, and enforce use. Let's see one video for the noise, then we will go for the hand.
Construction workers are continuously exposed to noise from tools, equipment, and machinery. In addition to causing hearing problems, noise reduces concentration and increases stress, irritability, fatigue, and the risk of accidents. Exposure to very loud noise can result in temporary hearing loss. It's unpleasant, but your hearing can go back to what it was before. But continuous noise exposure, little by little, and over time, results in irreparable hearing damage. Beware of noise exposure, as occupational deafness can sneak up on you. There are certain warning signs that the noise level on the job site is too high. The noise level is too high when it's difficult to clearly hear everything another worker is saying. When you're often asked to repeat yourself during a conversation, or when the noise drowns out important warning sounds such as an alarm, a backup signal, or a worker in need of help. The best way to protect yourself is to reduce noise at its source to a minimum or eliminate it altogether. Construction work schedules should be properly planned so that you can avoid having too many trades on site at the same time. This way, you don't end up with added noise in the same place. Whenever possible, noise sources should be moved away from the work area. Avoid creating resonance chambers that could amplify the noise. For example, don't operate a compressor inside a trailer. To reduce the sound of noisy equipment, use reflective structures or absorbent materials. Otherwise, move the noise source. It's best to use battery-operated tools instead of electric or gas tools because they're less noisy. Old and damaged equipment generates unnecessary noise. It must be maintained and optimized. When equipment isn't in use, always turn it off. Anyone who is exposed to high noise levels must be equipped with proper PPE. And they need to use it. If you use disposable earplugs, make sure to insert them properly. With clean hands. First, roll the plug lengthwise between your thumb and index finger to reduce the diameter. Then, with the opposite hand, pull your ear up and back and insert the plug slowly without too much pressure. Don't bend the plug in half or push it in too far. Hold the plug in place for 30 seconds to allow the foam to expand. A good way to test the fit is to cover and uncover your ears a few times. If there's no change in your hearing, the plugs are properly in place. Disposable earplugs are single use only. They must be thrown away after each use. So, if you need to wear hearing protectors often, it's considerably more convenient to wear reusable earmuffs or earplugs. Choose the type that's most comfortable and easy for you to wear. In short, the best way to protect yourself is to eliminate the noise source. Use battery-powered tools, reduce the noise produced by equipment, cut down on noise exposure by moving the noise source, and wear hearing protectors. And remember, no matter the hazard, proper planning is always the first step. If you have any questions or need advice, OPCHQ advisors are always here to help.
So that was all about the noise. So for today, that's all. Let's see you in next video. Bye bye. Take care.